Hey y'all. So I just wanted to talk about an update where I'm at with the union, the racial trauma experience, and what the progress is. I really think it's important to continue with this vlog, and I have agreed to, with one of my colleagues, to vlog this all the way through until there seems to be an action item in response to the racial trauma. So the president of the union actually did speak with Ben Harder, and he admitted right away that he, quote unquote, fucked up by doubling down on asking me why I had canceled a meeting in a candidate forum that's really supposed to be focused upon how I see myself continuing on as a vice president of grievances for the union, thinking about my strategies for identifying linguistic loopholes and strengthening our contract when it comes to how universities demonstrate their programmatic needs, instructional needs, in a way that does not contribute to lecturer churning. And so that was really what I wanted to concentrate on, not why I missed a meeting because my son was hospitalized twice. And so basically, the conversation is taking place. I decided to create a training program based upon anti-racism and representation, and also thinking about how to defend our contract when it comes to racial discrimination. Um, that occurred on Friday. I will say it was a hit and miss. One of the people who was present, who's a steward at one of the UCs, didn't really deeply engage with some of the questions I asked about microaggressions and um, how to handle witnessing a racial microaggression. Instead, after leaving the breakout room and then coming back, this particular person said they were representing an individual who was claiming racial harm and racial discrimination. She said, however, that person was a terrible person. So I had to kind of put that out there as a type of microaggression that I experienced, because for me, that meant she wasn't necessarily addressing my question. She was trying to challenge claims of racial discrimination and racial harm. And to me, that was counterproductive. And interestingly, that same person was a person present at the forum who Ben Harder asked if they were going to first ask me the question about why I had missed the meeting. So there's definitely a connection between that person wanting to know why I missed the meeting and their refusal to engage in my activity in a very focused and concerted way and not in a challenging way. So I do consider that to be a continued racial microaggression. As we know, these issues do not stop overnight. Um, they don't go away overnight, especially when these are long held beliefs and practices that deal with people's personality and their principle, or whether or not they espouse an anti-racist approach, which, as we know, is involves levels of comfortability and discomfortability or uncomfortability. So I'm still in the thick of it. I have proposed to have an internship to bring in underrepresented populations to learn about how the union functions, because there is no representation. As I mentioned at the forum, I was the only person of color present. Now, with the nominations committee, discussions are now happening because of the racial harm that I endured, of how to restructure the candidate forum. But, the damage has been done. So the damage is done. So it's kind of after the fact. And now nobody really has to worry about this happening to them for those members who were not able to be present that day. So, I continue on to do the work. And as the president said, I'm doing the heavy lifting, which is an issue that comes up often in anti-racism. It's often the person who has endured the harm that then has to address the harm. So that's where we're at, y'all. Thanks. Peace.